Hey there guys, what's up? Ragtter here, welcoming you back to the tournament report. Last time we were able to overcome our opponent and advance to the next round, and there's always a bit of apprehension when you go into these next rounds, because clearly, this person just beat someone. So you've got to think a bit more carefully than you would when you're in the first rounds, right? The first round's very low stakes, but now, right, not only are you fighting for a higher place, but you're fighting against someone who has also beaten another opponent. Now, this first hand made me want to quit immediately. This is bad, but it's salvageable. So having Remoraid as my only Pokemon, terrible start. I don't have anything that can make Remoraid and Octillery function as attackers in this deck. They are not a win condition. They are there to help me draw cards. But by thinning my hand, I can get a more optimum play. So that Battle Compressor I just did removed 3 Electric-type energy from my deck into my discard pile. I'm going to get those with Mega Magnetric later. Now with my Ultra Ball, I'm going to toss my Lysander and my Versa Seeker. And I'm going to do this to go look for Magnetric EX. And because I didn't need either of those cards, it thins my hand even more. Now, I can play Magnetric EX, I can attach an energy to it, and I can use Switch, which will put it into the active position, and I didn't have to retreat Remoraid and waste an energy for it. Now I can use Giovanni's Scheme to draw a full 5 cards, and I get a Magnetric Spirit Link, and I get these 2 item cards, the Professor's Letter and the Ultra Ball, that I really want to play. And that Judge has a lot of possibility. Judge will shuffle both players' hands into their decks, and then they each draw 4 cards. This is mostly a means of really stumping your opponent's hand growth, but it can also be used to help you get a bit of a draw going. So I see right now that my opponent has a lot of cards in his hand, and he draws 3 more because of Kangaskhan EX, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm going to take such advantage of that. So I'm going to play down Magnetric EX. It's very hard not to say Mega Magnetric EX whenever you reference either of these cards. I'm going to use my Professor's Letter to get 2 Electric-type energy. Then, we're going to use our Ultra Ball to toss 1, plus the Rough Seas, and we're going to go looking for Mega Magnetric EX. Then, we can slap an energy onto it and Mega Evolve it. So now I can use my Turbo Bolt so that I can get the energy out of my discard pile and into play. I'm going to use the Judge, which is the ultimate bully play, to get rid of my opponent's gigantic hand. I get a Raikou. I am so happy right now. And my opponent has to be fuming. Right? That is not a, morale play right there. That is a low blow to the self-esteem right there. So I'm going to use my Trainer's Mail to get a Muscle Band, and I'm going to put it onto Raikou because having that extra bit of damage never hurts, and it helps Raikou secure a few key KOs, though I'm not sure any of those exist within my opponent's deck. So, I've dealt a lot of damage to Kangaskhan EX. My opponent has had his hand crippled. He's going to evolve his Purloin into Purugly, and I'm not really sure why that's there, but he's going to triple draw to get 3 more cards. And I've got this Versa Seeker, and what Versa Seeker does is it lets you go into your discard pile and pull out a supporter card there. And would you look at that, I've got a Judge in there. So I'm going to be an extra super duper bully, and I'm going to play Judge again, which is going to reshuffle my Sycamore and get me 4 okay cards. But it's going to get rid of my opponent's 6 cards that he just worked towards building. Or was that 7? I can't remember. Either way, I made my opponent not have as many cards in his hand. So I've got another Trainer Mail. I'm going to use it to take the Sycamore this time because I'm in such a position right now that I don't really need to change what I'm doing. Getting some extra card draw could not hurt though. So I'm going to take the last 2 Lightning-type energy. Actually, I think it's Lightning-type energy in this TCG. I've been calling them Electric-type. It's going to be interchangeable. You're going to have to deal with that. And I get 2 prize cards. Now, I looked in my discard pile there because I was seeing if there was anything I could get with the Super Rod. The Super Rod lets you shuffle a combination of Pokemon or energy cards from your discard pile back into your deck. And there's nothing there. I draw a 3rd Professor Sycamore, and I'm like, I'm done with this. This is not a thing that we're doing right now. And my opponent, you'll notice, just failed to get off his Stoke attack, so literally sitting at nothing, and I just drew a wonderful hand, and before I can play anything, my opponent's like, I'm done, I'm bowing out, this is not fun for me. And I'm going to advance to the next round of the tournament. So, I gotta tell you right now, this guy, and I have cut some of it out of the video just because of how lengthy it is, this guy was deliberate. It made a whole lot of sense to me afterwards when I saw his deck, but in the moment, whenever you see a player take a long time, either A, they've got bad internet, or B, they know what they're doing and they are analyzing you, and that's horrifying, especially in the finals of a tournament. You do not want to fight someone good in the finals of a tournament. So, well, actually, you kind of do for the sport. So I actually get an okay hand. This is not a great hand, it is an okay hand. And my opponent does not get a basic Pokemon. So I take a look at his hand, and there's nothing there that tells me anything about how my opponent wants to play. It's all generic supporter cards, all cookie cutter cards. But my opponent, after some deliberation, and you don't want to know how much I had to cut out, is going to play a Litleo. And I'm immediately just like freaking out. Like, I'm actually at a loss for words for how panicked I was over the premise of seeing that Litleo. Because Litleo evolves into Pyroar, and Pyroar has an ability that stops the damage of basic Pokemon attacks. Basic Pokemon attacks are the win condition in my deck. Mega Manectric EX is not a basic Pokemon, but it's not my usual win condition. Raikou is, and Raikou, since it doesn't evolve, is a basic Pokemon. And then my opponent plays that Seismitoad EX. Do you know what Seismitoad EX does? It has a, for 2 colorless energy, Quaking Punch. Quaking Punch stops the opponent that next turn from playing any item cards. Do you know how many Pokemon trading card decks have item cards as the vast majority of the cards they play? That Seismitoad EX has been meta-defining since it came out. So, I'm going to play all of the item cards that I can, while I can. And while that might seem a bit wasteful, basically I have to get in everything that I can right now or it's not going to count. And I put my faith in Professor Birch's observations, and I get these full 7 cards instead of 4. And I see my Manectric Spirit Link, I see a Muscle Band, I see 2 Professor's Letters. I would normally not blow all of my cards like this, but he is, without a doubt, going to do everything he can to get that Seismitoad up to the front right away, and Quaking Punch so I can't play item cards. I need to not have that happen. I need to be prepared so that when it does come out, I am capable of dealing with it then and there, without having to deal with any nonsense, because not being able to play your item cards is such a detriment to how most decks function. So he's going to fail to get some card draw going, but I doubt he cares. And he's going to start setting up on this other Litleo, and there's the Pyroar that I was talking about. There is a furious beast that I am not ready to deal with. So he's going to get some Professor Birch's luck as well, going to get a full new 7 cards, and he gets a switch. So the Seismitoad EX comes out, and I'm like, no, please, no! Please, anything but that. Not only that, but he's not done. He's Ultra Balling. And at this point, I see the Shaman EX, I see the Pyroar, I see the Seismitoad, I'm like, what else can he have? And it turns out it's another Pyroar. This one has an ability that lets him discard fire energy attached to it to mess with my Pokemon order. So he can basically use a Lysander by discarding a fire-type energy and switch one of my benched Pokemon to my active slot. So I'm going to attach an energy to Manectric EX so I can use my Turbo Bolt when I get my Mega Manectric EX. I'm going to Professor Sycamore, and I get a handful of item cards, wouldn't you know it. But because he's got a tool card attached to that Seismitoad, my second attack, Assault Laser, is going to do double the damage. So I've just done 140 to the Seismitoad with 20 from my overrun from before, and I am now much more comfortable. My next attack is going to knock this thing out, but he's going to be a bit of a bully like I was the last game. He's going to Startling Megaphone away my Spirit Link so that I have to waste a turn to Mega Evolve now, or get another Spirit Link. I still can't play item cards, but I can play an energy. So I'm going to get one of my Raikous on the ball to being set up, and I'm going to take 2 item cards, or prize cards rather, as I knock out Seismitoad EX, and that makes me so happy. Getting rid of that thing is such a triumph because it just locks down your hand. Look at the amount of cards I have that I haven't been able to play. It's ridiculous. Now he's going to put the Pyroar out in the front, and I cannot do damage to this thing unless I get my Mega Manectric EX. So, it's time to start looking for it. So I'm going to play down my Remoraid, and I'm going to attach another energy to my Raikou. Now, since I can play my item cards, I can be a bit more, well, to say free at all with how I play. I'm going to put down an Assault Vest onto my Raikou because I saw that he's running a double colorless energy, so if I get attacked by another Seismitoad EX, I will take less damage for it, since Assault Vest lowers the amount of damage you take from Pokemon that currently have special energy equipped. So I'm going to use my Versus Seeker to go into my discard pile and pull out a Professor Sycamore because I don't need any of these right now. I need something that's going to give me an edge. And there, I find an Ultra Ball. So we're going to slap down a Rough Seas, which lets me heal Water and Electric type Pokemon. Lets my opponent heal too, rather, but that's not important right now. So I'm going to toss 2 Lightning type energy. I'm going to go get Mega Manectric EX. Oh my god, it's so hard to say those. Mega Manectric EX is such a tongue twister. But it lends itself to saying Mega Manectric EX. Not just Manectric EX, Mega Manectric EX. Anyway, since he discarded my Spirit Link, my turn is forcefully ended. But I am not worried. I am not worried in the slightest bit about this, because now I'm not a basic Pokemon anymore. So my Mega Manectric EX provides immediate offensive pressure against this Pyroar, and he is going to try his hardest to get rid of me. But I have an energy in hand that I can retreat out of. So Raikou is going to come out, and he's like, ha, attack me with that. And I'm like, no, I will not. I'm going to slap an energy onto Raikou. We're going to retreat out back into Mega Manectric EX, and that actually helps me, because the more energy in my discard pile while Mega Manectric EX is active, the better it is for my Raikou cards. So I'm going to shuffle Octillery and 2 Lightning energy back into my deck. And now it's time to just lay into my opponent's face. This is revenge for being annoying. We're going to take 2 Lightning energy, we're going to put them onto Raikou. And at this point I am basically sitting as pretty as I can get. My opponent has no energy on his side of the board. I have denied him a whole opportunity with the Seismitoad EX, with the Pyroar, and he's just going to bow out at this point. There, he sees that he cannot come back from that. And that is how I won this tournament. They were great matches all around, even if these 2 were a bit shorter than the last one. And these are the prizes that I got. My random booster was a X and Y base set. I got 2 break points and a neat little trophy. And I had a lot of fun. So if this is a series that you enjoy, me analyzing my tournament matches, then let me know with a like and a comment down below. And I'm going to go more in depth into this in the future, but just so you can see the list that I used for this tournament, this is my Raikou deck. I will explain it more in depth later, but if this is a list that you're interested in, this is it right here. I know it's missing some cards from the usual standard Raikou deck, but hey. So I'll see you guys next time. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye!